hard to make your hair look nice when you got this big band going over top of it, you know? You're such a white boy. Like, look at your little podcast. Like, are we gonna say a prayer beforehand?
If you'd like.
I'm just kidding. No, we don't have to do that.
I thought you just got saved.
I did get saved, yeah.
Yeah. So if you want to say a prayer, by all means, I'll bow my head.
Oh, all right, let's do it for a second here. Dear God, please help me get through this podcast without making myself seem like a real idiot. Thank God. And it won't happen because God saves.
And I'm here to help.
Yeah, exactly.
We're not going to make you look stupid. If
Okay.
anything, it's going to be great. I promise.
Does my hair look okay?
Hair looks great.
Great. Awesome. Oh, okay. We're good.
Good?
Yeah.
All right. Hello, and thank you for joining me for another episode of Jared's Not Funny. I, of course, am your host, Jared Christianson, and today I'm joined by a fellow comedian who is not only hilarious, but also is a lot of fun to hang out with. Her name is Janie Chapel. Jamie, thank you so much for being here today.
Yeah. Thanks for having me. I'm excited. Yeah.
Me too. So, quick question. I know that you, when you're not on stage, you are actually a dentist.
I am. Yeah.
That's super cool.
It is pretty cool.
Yeah.
And, actually pulling teeth is not as hard as people think it is.
Really?
No, it's not.
So that's what you do. You pull teeth.
I pull a lot of teeth, yeah. I mean, I do fillings and all the normal dental things as well. But
I gotcha.
yeah, it pays the bills. I mean, comedy hasn't done it for me yet, so.
I feel that. Do you ever try any of your jokes on your patients?
Oh, yeah, all the time.
Heck yeah.
Yeah. My assistants get really annoyed because they hear it like multiple times a day. But you got to try out your material a couple times before you bail on it.
100%.
Yeah.
Have you ever tried it when someone's on laughing gas?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's the time, right?
Yeah, that's the time to do it.
That's
sure.
the perfect
Yeah.
time. So you dentist, comedian, you also ride street bikes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right, motorcycles.
Yep.
I'm getting into dirt biking. I'm about to buy a dual sport too.
Ooh.
Yeah.
What's the difference? I don't really know.
Oh gosh. So my dirt bike, you just ride it in the dirt. It's got like kind of knobby tires, stuff like that.
Yeah.
I'm not a pro at telling you this. All the dirt bike people are going to be like, she has no idea what she's talking about, which
Well,
I don't. I'm new into it. But the dual sport, basically, you can take it on the road to dirt and then back again.
Oh.
And a street bike's you can ride it only on the street. So
That makes sense. That's why they call it dual.
Dual sport.
Dual sport.
Yeah.
Not a sponsor. So, and tell me a little bit about your wreck.
Oh gosh.
Come on.
Oh my gosh. Honestly, like a lot of people actually don't know that I wrecked my motorcycle recently. Well, actually it was 6 weeks ago today. And I'll tell you the short version, I guess, and it's that in the morning I wrecked my bike. And I didn't get hurt or anything. The brakes went out, and I just kind of plopped onto the side of the bike when it finally stopped. And then in the afternoon, I was like, hey, can I ride your bike to my friend? And unfortunately, I wrecked in that incident. And I would have probably been okay had I just wrecked because I had all my gear on.
Yeah.
But the guy behind me ran me over. So.
Ouch. Ouch. Yeah, because you showed up to one comedy show, I see you, and you're perfectly fine. The next comedy show, you got a big leg brace on, and you're wobbling in, and
Yep. Yeah.
But you still got up there and you still performed.
I did. Of course I did.
That's tough.
It's for the people, man.
It's for the people.
Yeah.
I love that. And
yeah.
I mean, that was like an hour and a half drive with a messed up leg.
Yep.
You can never say that you're not determined.
I'm always determined.
Yeah.
I have big dreams.
Yeah.
I wake up every day and I'm like, this comedy thing's going to take off at any moment.
I love that.
This podcast between us right now is just going to be like,
Yeah. Why do you think I had you on here?
I know, exactly.
Yeah, because I need my views up.
You need your views up, so you had to have a hot chick on here.
There you go. That's perfect. Your episode will actually air before Rachel's, so you will technically be the first lady on the
but
podcast.
Rachel's beautiful too. Don't even.
Oh, trust me, I know.
Yeah.
Oh, she's the most that's yeah. Whenever it comes to ladies, that one is mine.
Look, this is a good promo to talk about how Jared and I kind of first met, and so I went down to Roanoke and I did a show, and he was like, "Hey, will you record my set for me?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure, but what's the passcode on your phone?" And he gives me the phone and he just goes up on it. he goes, I don't have a passcode because I want my fiance to feel comfortable that if she ever feels like she needs to go through my phone, she can. And I looked at him and I was like, I have been dating the wrong men my whole life. My whole life. And then I actually went on stage and talked about it that night. It was pretty funny. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I do believe in, I have her passcode. She has a passcode on hers because she has work files and stuff like that. But I know her passcode, and I've already told her the same thing that she tells me this too, is if we ever felt like we have to go through each other's phones, what's the point in being together?
Exactly. I feel the same way.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that's why just no passcode, and if she ever did want to look, like I said, I mean, it will never hurt my feelings as long as she understands, I would never do anything to jeopardize. When you find the right person, right? When you have that person that is just like, I can never replace her.
Right.
I couldn't. She's my best friend. So, it's an easy decision.
Yeah.
Just be like, no passcode.
Yeah. You're such a good dude. Only fuck boys have passcodes. Like, let's be honest.
I
right?
love that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's right. Fuck boys.
And if you're a fuck boy, that's okay. Just be honest about it.
Yeah.
Like there's other people that there's fuck girls.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's nothing wrong with that. Just be honest.
Agreed.
In your relationships, that's all.
Yeah. Or just don't try to have a relationship if you're gonna be trying to bang other people.
I hear polyamory is like a big thing right now. I mean, not for me, but everybody's like that's the new thing. So.
Yeah. Well, it is what it is. Different strokes, different folks. And I've said it once and I'll say it again. We don't kink shame.
No.
Never. People are into some crazy stuff. Let's see. So we're going to get down and dirty on this one.
Oh, yeah,
What's the craziest thing you've ever been asked by a guy to do?
Oh, God. I don't know. But gosh. Oh God, I don't want to get too dirty on this, but
that's fine.
Nothing's like too crazy or anything like that. I can't say. I mean, boys, have big imaginations.
I agree.
And
ladies can be freaks too.
Ladies can be freaks. I mean, there's truth to that. I don't think anybody's asked me to do anything that's so outside of the realm. And if it was like, I would just say no.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and not necessarily like something crazy. Like, for instance, I dated a girl one time. She wanted me to, she liked to call me daddy. I wasn't into that at all.
Yeah,
there's just something, I don't know. Or like the choking thing. Like, I just, and like I said, it's just because I'm a soft-natured person whenever it comes to, whenever it comes to making love.
Right.
You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I don't think choking her is the way to go. It just makes me feel like I'm watching an episode of Dexter.
Mm-hmm. Well, at least Dexter killed bad people.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know. Yeah, whatever.
We don't kink shame here.
We don't kink shame.
I've heard some pretty crazy stuff, and I'm kind of like, meh. Like, if you're into it, you're into it. Like, not for me.
There goes my phone. I forgot to turn on silent because I'm a professional. I am a professional. So you were talking to me a little bit about leadership.
Yeah.
The thing that you're doing there.
Yeah.
Talk to me about that.
So I applied for a leadership program last year, and I got in. I had to write 13 essays. I think just the fact that they ask for that weeds out a lot of people that are like, oh, that's too much. You know, I don't want to do it. So I wrote the essays and I applied, and all year long, I meet with the people that are in the leadership program, and I also have a personal leadership coach that I talk to on a regular basis, and it has been absolutely game changing for sure. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's the name of the program?
It's, oh gosh, I'm going to mess this up, but it's CHCU, and it's through University of Richmond.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Yeah. In case somebody's interested that watches this, you know what I mean? I always like to know. So, and you have a leadership coach, and you said you meet with them once a month. Is that right?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And you feel like this program has really helped you?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
You just, so let me back up here a little bit. All right. So I think you and I have even talked about this a little bit. So this year is 2025, right?
Yes.
And at the beginning of this year, I made the decision that I was going to change all aspects of my life, and I was going to become the best, or possibly the best, or work hard at being the best at all of these aspects of my life. And part of the reason why I did it was because it's 2025. My birthday is 2/5, February 5th.
Yeah.
So I was like, this is it. This is my year. I'm 39 years old. I'm turning 40 next year. I need to make some big changes. Shit in the past hasn't been working. And so at the beginning of the year, I got a bodybuilding coach, and my goal was to do a bodybuilding competition before the end of the year, which has gotten pushed back because of my injury from the wreck.
Sure.
I got into this leadership program. I moved. A lot of things have happened this year, including I got baptized yesterday, which was like not in my plans, but in somebody else's.
I mean, hey.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And so I've been making moves, trying to change my thoughts, trying to be more positive, trying to do all of these things. And in the leadership program, it really has helped me see that, like, you know, I am a person, I am who I am, and it doesn't matter what other people say about me or who I am or anything along those lines.
Yeah.
What matters is if I can put my head on the pillow at the end of the night and be good with, you know, Janie Chapel. So, like, that's been probably the biggest game changer of it all. Not to get too serious, but yeah.
Yeah, no, that's sick.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's always cool to talk about your personal growth.
Right.
You
And
know?
it's been the craziest, biggest year for personal growth for me. And it's like really changed my perspective. It's made me more open. It's made my friendships deeper. It's made, you know, it's been great. It's been wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And as far as the bodybuilding thing, right? I seem to remember us being at Mill Mountain Theater, right? We're both like getting close to going on stage, and me and you break out and start doing push-ups.
Push-ups, yeah.
Yeah. Because it was like a couple of months that I didn't see you, and then you showed up just jacked, and I was like, "What are you doing?" You know, like. But you can definitely tell that whatever it is that you're going after, you're working hard at it.
Oh, yeah.
And you're getting results.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And I tell people too, I'm like, being average is just average.
Sure.
And you just have to do a little bit more to be above average. So if you're not going to the gym at all, you just got to go 1 day a week and you're above average. If you go 3 days a week, you're probably in the top 10%, to be honest. You know what I mean? And so if you really take the time and push yourself a little bit further, a little bit further, a little bit further, you do one extra comedy show, you write one extra joke, you go to the gym one extra day, you read one extra book, you are leaps and bounds above the average person.
Yeah.
You know, I feel like personal growth sometimes is not seen as like a positive attribute. People are like, just be happy with what you have. But it's like, what if you could manifest bigger and better things in your life?
I absolutely think you can.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And where does that come from, where you just woke up one day and you're like, I'm going to be better? Like, where is it? Did you just reach a point where, like you just said, hey, things aren't working out, so therefore I'm going to just make this? I mean, it sounds like you literally just a flip of a switch, and you were able to make that change.
Well, they say that when you're sick and tired of being sick and tired, you make a change. And I had been kind of running in my life the way that I had been, and it was like failed attempt, failed relationship, failed this, failed that. And not to say that my life wasn't good. It was good,
Sure.
you know, but it wasn't, there was more there that I could make better. And I was like, everything that I've been doing hasn't been working. So what if I do everything differently? And that was the point of this year. And it was like, I'm going to kill it at the gym. I'm going to kill it on stage with comedy. I'm going to kill it with friendships. I'm going to kill it with, you know, all of this stuff.
Yeah.
And like, it has things that I thought going to the gym, I'd get stronger. Right. And then I started going to the gym, but then it's like, I made gym friends. I was better at nutrition. I started cooking more for myself, eating out less, getting more information about what good nutrition is and eating enough protein and making sure you're building the body, you know, the muscle that you need to have. And then on top of it, you start learning too, this is crazy actually, since we're on the subject, that longevity is not about smoking or alcohol or any of those things. It's about your interpersonal relationships with people. It's the number one predictor on if you will live a long time. And one of those things is also muscle mass in your thigh. The more muscle mass that you have in your thighs, they did research on this, it's crazy. the more likely you're going to have longevity. And the reason behind it is because you're able to walk, you're able to go to social interactions, you're able to go to the gym, you're able to have those connections with people on like a daily basis and have those friendships and things along those lines. I mean, it's a higher predictor. If you smoke but you have good relationships with people, it's a higher predictor of that. And alcohol is crazy. It's absolutely insane. So yeah, you learn. So it's like, yeah, I gained muscle, but then I gained a community, I gained a lifestyle, I gained knowledge about nutrition and cooking, and it's cool.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a journey that you kind of, I like how you said it's just this year, like you decided like this, I'm starting this, I'm doing it. So many people I think make big plans and don't follow through with them, right? They fall off very quickly, I'm one of them, I can't tell you how many times, I've set out for my New Year resolution is I'm going to lose 30 pounds. I'm going to quit smoking and not drink as much. And guess what? I go in the opposite direction. I'm like, well, I'm probably smoking one more cigarette. I'm probably drinking one more soda, like I'm going the opposite way.
Right.
But
change is hard. There's a reason why average is what it is.
Yeah.
And so I had a personal trainer, and she's her name's Nicole Krieger. I'll give her a little bit of a bump, but she is awesome. She's amazing. And she told me once, she said, hard things are hard because they're worth doing, and the outcomes of them are worth it in the end. So you're going to struggle in the gym. You're going to struggle like with nutrition. You're going to struggle with these things. But if you are showing up every day for yourself to do those things, the outcomes for yourself are so much better. And the only person that really benefits from it is yourself. So you might as well just do it. You know what I mean?
Sure. Yeah. I'll tell you this. When I was 26, I lost 68 pounds.
Nice.
Right? And that it was exactly what you're talking about.
Was it a parasite?
No. No, it was literally I joined the gym at the facility that I worked at.
Yeah.
And I called it the Rocky Gym because all it had was like a treadmill, an elliptical, and then a bunch of free weights.
Yeah.
But I knew the right stuff to do. And so I started every day that I would go to the gym, right? I'd wake up in the morning, I'd go there, do a 30-minute workout in the morning. I'd eat some scrambled eggs from the kitchen, and then I would go to work. And then on my lunch break, I'd be like, man, I can get in 30 minutes of something quick and then take a shower and get right back to it. And then I'd get off work and, I'd go and do another hour-long workout. But I was alone in Nashville, right? Like I didn't have any friends. I didn't have any family. I didn't have anyone with me. So I was like, well, why don't I dedicate this time to myself? And it was easy to do.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
I think distractions sometimes I can't tell you how many days that I've had ever in the past 10 years where I don't get a text message from one of my friends who I love dearly, who are like, let's hang out, let's do this, let's do that. And I'm like, well, I was thinking about going to the gym,
right.
or I was thinking about, okay, no, I'll just go out and have fun with them. You know what I mean? So it's distractions is one of my biggest problems.
It's about I've realized this over time. Everybody makes things priorities in their life.
Absolutely.
So whether it's your girlfriend or your wife or your kids or, or like the gym, like I always, every day, it's like work. I got to show up for work, right? Because I got to pay the bills because comedy's not doing it yet. But,
right.
And then it's like, the next thing is like, all right, I got to make it to the gym at some point today. When is that going to occur? Right. And like, what's crazy about this type of mentality and stuff, like, so I really like Leela Horowitz. I hope I said that right. And she does like a podcast about this too. And she's like, it's all about priorities. And like some of the most successful people in the world, really, and the United States, they prioritize like fitness, gym, mental health, working, like things along those lines. And they become successful because a certain type of person that I've told people this before, that prioritizes like fitness and the gym and things along those lines, they show up for themselves. They already have a lot of attributes about themselves that are good, positive attributes, right? Sure. It's like trying to grow, trying to be better, trying to, do all of those types of things. And it's just like, starting's always hard. But once I was 3 months in, it was like, I had to go to the gym. I'm going to the gym today. This week, I'm going to the gym 5 days a week, and I'm fitting it in. I don't know where, but it has to happen. And now it's a habit, And it just makes it so much easier. The first 3 months are really tough though. Like, because
Sure.
it's like, oh man, I'm always sore, or, whatever. And so it's easy to kind of fall to the wayside. So
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. I remember during that time, the one thing that I made myself do is I get on elliptical for at least 30 minutes, and it always had that calorie counter,
yeah.
And I'll never forget the first time that I did it. I got on, I was like, I'm not getting off for 30 minutes. I don't care what the pace is, but I'm going to force myself to do it. And I got done, and it was like I burned like 396 calories. And then I went to the grocery store to go grocery shopping, and I love Oreos.
Yeah.
Especially double stuffed Oreos.
Oh, yeah.
I love them. And I turned around the packaging just to see what a serving size was and how many calories. And it was like 200 calories per serving, which was only like 2 cookies.
Oh, yeah.
And so I thought about it. I was like, 4 of those cookies literally takes away the 30 minutes that I just put into this. And it made me start looking at, looking at it a little bit differently, where it's like, do you really understand what you're putting in your body?
Right. Yeah.
So, and it's haunting to me sometimes when I go on binge eats, where I'm like, I know that this is like 2,600 calories, but
You know what though? Like I still struggle with that. You know, I'm not perfect in this either. Like there are moments, and my trainer can tell you this too. It's like I was really hitting it hard, and then like occasionally you'll be like, I'm gonna eat a whole sleeve of Oreos today, and you're like halfway through the sleeve, and you're like, I should probably stop, and you're like, no.
well, if you're putting in the work, you know what I mean? Like,
but it's no. If you're setting out to try and be 100% perfect in anything that you do, you're going to fail 100% of the time.
Absolutely.
And there have even been times where I've kind of fallen, like, because when I got hurt in the motorcycle wreck, I didn't go to the gym for a little while after that. And when I got back to the gym, I was like, I'm going to be so weak. Like, I'm not going to be able to lift as much as I did before. And my muscle tone's probably gone. But because I had been training really, really, really hard for 7 months, 3 weeks of not working out didn't throw me off of my plan.
Makes
sense,
yeah.
So I guess like that's like the 80-20 rule everybody talks about. It's like you got to just put in 80% of the effort. Otherwise, if you do 100%, you're always going to fail, and you're always going to feel like a failure. And
Sure.
Nobody wants to walk around the world feeling like a failure.
Yeah.
Unless you're Jared and he's not funny and he's.
I always feel like a failure, but that's okay. So yeah, I would say as far as like your motorcycle crash, right, where someone runs over you, I would imagine that the work that you had put in the gym to strengthen your muscles and your ligaments and stuff like that, I'm sure that helped you not get super duper messed up.
I think that's most of what was the reason why I didn't break a bone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You must drink a lot of milk.
I don't drink a lot. I think milk is gross, but
really?
Yeah.
I love milk.
Ugh, ew.
Does the body good. That's what they used to say.
Yeah.
I don't know if they say that anymore.
I'm not sure. I mean, there's so many types of milk now. Like it's oat milk and cashew milk and.
Yeah, I don't know about any of those.
I don't either. But I think a lot of the muscle that I had around my legs probably helped it.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Awesome. So as far as with comedy, right? Mm-hmm. Do you have any upcoming shows right now?
I don't. Which
Nothing
is
right now?
like it was just like totally rare for me actually.
Yeah.
But you know what? I really haven't been showing up to like open mics and stuff in recent weeks. I've been like pretty busy.
Well, yeah. And are you 100% yet from the injury?
Nah, I'm about 90%.
90%.
Yeah. I have an ankle that's kind of like gnawing at me on a daily basis. Some days are better than others, but
I gotcha.
Yeah.
That's my back.
Yeah.
My back gnaws at me every morning.
Yeah.
You know, I feel like a 90-year-old man waking up after that car accident. I'm tired of it. So sick of it. Because like that's the thing too, right? Is it I don't think you're much older than me, or are you even older than me?
I'm 39. How old are you?
39.
Yeah, we're the same age.
Yeah, same age. Yeah, heck yeah.
It's a good age.
Yeah.
You know why? Because I feel like when I turn 40, that I feel like I'm actually an adult. I feel more like an adult now than I ever did before.
I agree.
Like,
same.
Yeah, like when I say things, people are like, "Oh, like she knows what she's talking about," rather than like, "Oh, she's 20."
Sure. Yeah, 100%.
Oh, she has so much to learn. She's 20.
Oh, her ideas are so cute.
I know. Her ideas of the world. Wait until you get into it and it fucks you up.
Yeah, exactly. And that's experience, right? Like that's the
wisdom. Yeah.
Yeah. The successes and failures in life. And that's what kind of makes the whole journey beautiful.
Yeah.
You know,
sometimes you got to pivot.
Yeah. I like how you say whenever you turn 40, you're going to feel like an adult or more like an adult. Cause to me, like I didn't give a shit about 40. Right. Until I turned 39.
Right. Yes.
That's when it hit me. That's when I was like, okay, if I'm lucky, right? If I take, my grandparents as far as how old they were when they passed, technically that's the halfway mark.
Yeah.
For me.
Yeah. Midlife crisis. Maybe that's what my 2025 was.
That's the one thing that I'm trying not to think about or have. I'm sure Rachel will check me on that. But the one thing that I did decide is I was like, well, there are things that I want to accomplish, like do this podcast.
Right.
I want to get on stage as much as possible for comedy, which I've done. Like, and just starting this podcast, it's like, all it takes is just, the want and the drive, right? As soon as I did the first one as just kind of a joke with me and Jordan B, where I was like, yeah, I'll do a podcast. And then once I got to edit it, I was like, oh my God, I love this editing stuff.
Yeah.
It's so much fun.
Yeah, I do too. I do a lot of editing with my videos online. And,
And it's fun.
Yeah.
It's fun to create.
And what's cool about it is you can spend hours diving into editing video and doing all that stuff, and it's like the time just melts away. It's not like a job. It's not, and it's so fun. And I crack up the whole time I'm doing it because I do quick cuts, so it looks like I'm like putting on my gear, with the motorcycle and all that stuff, and it's a cool way of passing the time, and I think people enjoy it. And same thing with the comedy, you've done cuts for me with my comedy and whatnot.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I've been enjoying it. I think it's, I used to just love recording music. That was my favorite thing. But I gotta admit, the video things got me locked. Because the podcast is a double thing for me.
Right.
Because not only do I get to edit the conversation that I had with a great person, but I get to spend that time with that person.
Right. Right.
And everyone that comes on the podcast, even if it's a complete stranger, which I do have a complete stranger coming on the podcast soon. A little bit more to come from that. Someone I've never met, someone that you won't meet. You actually won't know who this person is, but I'm super excited about that. But it's like the ability to be able to sit down with somebody who you respect and, you have a lot of love for is always just, it's more of a conversation, more of a check-in with each other on, what we're doing.
And again, it's interpersonal relationships that make your life fulfilled and better. And if you're creating content that makes it to people that see that and they want to do similar things too, I think it's great,
Do you find it difficult to be a woman in comedy?
Sometimes, but not all the time. It's we've talked about this before too, because all right, so I did the last show that we were together, and I got off stage, and you even said to me, you're like, you got to lead with a detrimental thing, right? I don't want to misquote you, but your intention was good.
Sure.
I'm not saying that it was sexist or anything like that. I'm just saying your intention behind it is good. And I definitely took it, but you're you go on stage and you're I'm a badass motorcycle, bitch. And and you tell a joke or whatever about that. And you're tone that part down, detriment yourself first and then build yourself back up, which there is some truth to that too. And I have been to comedy shows as well where I'm kind of wearing more of a revealing top or a midriff shirt or something like that. And I've learned believe it or not, I'm just wearing a t-shirt shirt today is because if you go up on stage and you're an attractive woman or even a woman, it doesn't matter, and you're a little more revealing, you've already lost the female audience because they're oh, look at her, and I'm not saying everybody's like that, right? It's just some people. And then the problem is that the male audience isn't even listening to what you're talking about because they're looking at your body. And I have cuts from my shows that I do video, and people are hooting and hollering from the audience at me. And it's you deal with it, right? You deal with people causing problems in the audience and stuff like that. But I've also realized I can get a better listening audience to what my jokes are if I'm dressed like this.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that's something that I don't think male comedians worry about. Although you should go up with a midriff and see what happens.
Hey, I'll give it a shot. I feel like I get a lot of booze. You don't want to see me in a midriff.
Oh my gosh, that would be so funny.
Well, all I need is a medium shirt.
Well, actually, this just reminds me. Didn't we make a joke that we should dress up as each other for Halloween and then rip on each other?
Yes, we did. Yeah, I'm totally down with it. Halloween's right around the corner.
I know, right? We should. You got a blonde wig that you could like.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah,
I have a blonde wig. It's from a Steel Panther concert. Yeah. I got special tickets where it was like you get to meet the band, and you get the wig and you get the bandana and all that. And I dressed up like full 80s.
Nice.
Like I had the leopard pants, but they were like, green
right.
and pink and yellow.
That's so funny.
And I'll tell you the craziest part about that was, do you know who Steel Panther is?
Yes.
Okay. So I got asked from my brother if I wanted to go out golfing with him the morning of the concert. Mm-hmm. And I was like, no, my boss is already kind of doing me a solid, right? Because I was a store manager. I was like, my boss is already kind of doing me a solid by letting me go at 3 instead of being off at 6.
Right.
Because I had a meet and greet.
Right.
And it was so funny because he's like, well, you're lost. So he goes and he plays 9 holes at our country club with my mom, with my stepmom and my dad. And they're done after 9, right? Mm-hmm. They like to play 9 holes and then they go have lunch. Well, my brother was like, no, I'm going to keep on playing. I'm going to play 9 more by myself. Well, he comes up on a threesome of guys right up, I think it was like a hole later or 2 holes later. And they asked him, they said, hey, man, like, do you want to play with us? Said, yeah, sure. So as he's playing with them, he's kind of noticing, they're got a lot of tattoos and stuff like that. And,
right.
And he asked them, he's like, hey, you guys from around here? They're like, no, we're just in town to do a show. He was like,
no freaking way.
Oh, what show are y'all doing? Well, we're in a band called Steel Panther. And he calls me. He's like, dude. He said, call me as soon as possible. And I remember looking down at the text, going, that son of a bitch got a hole in one. Like, that's the only reason why he would ever message me. And so I called him, and he answered, and he was all like, hey, man, what's up? I'm like, hey, what'd you do? Hit a hole in one? He said, no, I'm playing golf right now with the lead guitar player and the drummer of Steel Panther.
Did you go show up?
No,
what?
I was 45 minutes away. They didn't have that much time left, and I told him, I was like, you're kidding me. I don't believe you. Like, I straight up, I was like, you're lying.
Yeah.
I'm not believing you. Like, I love my brother, right? He has no reason to lie about this.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I just thought he was pulling my leg. And I said, well, if that's the case, send me a picture, And Steel Panther, they don't obviously wear their wigs and stuff like that.
Right. Yeah.
So the only thing that I got was my brother's cleats in a picture pointing straight down with the drummer flicking me off with both fingers showing me his tattoos that's who it was. And I flipped my shit. I was like, no way, the one time that I didn't blow off work for golf. And I could have been golfing with this band.
Oh man!
And but the cool thing is that at the end of golf, my brother did me a huge solid where he was explaining to him, hey, my brother, he growing up, he's been a huge fan of you guys. Him and his fiance and his best friend are all dressing up 80s, and they're coming to your show tonight. And they were like, can we call him? Like, let's call him.
Yeah.
And my brother was like, dude, that would be so sick.
Yeah, yeah.
So he put them on speakerphone, and I got to talk to them for like 5 minutes. And they said, man, as soon as you get there, just tell them who you are. Tell them you're Jared, and we'll get you through security, and we'll be able to hang out with them.
Did you go hang out?
Absolutely.
Oh, nice.
It was sick. And we got to do the picture thing and all that. And I asked him, I was like, first thing that came out of my mouth, I was like, did you really play golf with my brother? And they were like, we sure did. Your brother's great. And my brother told me they were killers in golf. Because he was like, they go around and they play golf in the morning, and then they go
do the show after.
rock and roll at night.
That's awesome.
It was so much fun.
That's just God telling you should skip work and do, golf things more.
That's the way I took it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Like I should have been like, you know what? I'm just gonna blow it off.
Yeah. You never know. You never know. You miss all the shots that you don't take, right?
Yeah. Well, you also get fired if you call in to work a lot,
Do you do this often?
No.
Oh, okay.
No. It's the one thing that I never want to be called is unreliable.
Yes.
Right? Like, if I don't show up to work, I got a problem.
Yeah.
Like, I got a legit problem.
Yep.
So, it is what it is. What about you? When was the last time you called out of work?
It's been a while. I really don't. I try not to unless I'm like really sick. Oh, it was because of the motorcycle accident. I missed one day of work.
Oh.
And then I went back to work after that. I missed one day.
Nice.
Yeah. And because I don't want to be unreliable and be like, sorry, I was in a motorcycle accident. I can't come this week.
I think that that's pretty rad, though. You know what I mean? Like, if you're my dentist, right, and I'm laying there, all of a sudden you walk in with a leg cast, you're like, sorry, I was in a high-speed motorcycle accident where a guy ran me over. I'd be like, damn.
Well, I had to tell my assistants, too. I was like, please, look, I know I'm going to tell you guys what happened. But, like, when we're in the room with patients, if I limp in there and a patient asks about it, like, I'm not going to tell them like what really happened. So don't mention it. Just everybody be quiet. I fell. Okay. But nobody ever asked me like from how high did I fall or what speed did I fall?
Yeah.
Right.
Did anyone like try to give you a number for a hotline, you know?
No.
Because by saying you fell, it's like, well, sweetie, they have numbers for this.
Yeah. I don't know. Life alert. Maybe somebody should get me one of those.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I mean, you're almost healed. I think you don't need life alert.
I am. Yeah. Yeah. I don't need life alert. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So in your comedy career, right? First of all, how long have you been doing comedy?
Yeah. You know, I just had my 2-year anniversary from when I first did my open mic. Open mic.
Happy anniversary.
Yeah. September 12th.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
That is awesome. So in that time, what's the most rewarding thing what's the thing that you're most proud of? How about that?
Most proud of in comedy?
Yeah.
You know, all right, so we'll go into this too. But again, when I started doing comedy, I was like, I'm going to go up on stage and I'm going to tell jokes, right? And then all the aspects in my life that I decided to change, you know, things along those lines. Comedy was one of those things that I was like, I gained so much more than just being funny, right? You go on stage, you do an open mic and you're funny, haha, whatever. But the relationships that I've made, the friendships that I've made with people, the eclectic group of people that do comedy, I mean, it's crazy. And like, I hate to say this, but it's just like every different type of background, every different type of people, like able-bodied, non-able-bodied, like, you know, it doesn't even matter. And everybody has a different perspective on what's funny and what's not because of the different backgrounds they're from. And it's just like, I'm in such awe of, and feel so lucky that, like, you know, maybe I'm not like a Netflix comedy star, right? Not yet, but like, but it's the fact and the value. Like, our friendship is great, you know, like the friendships that I've made with other people and producers and people that have helped me, like, you know, after doing my first open mic, I think 4 weeks later I did my first paid show, and I didn't even know there were such things as paid shows. I just thought people just did open mics, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so it's like, when trying something new, sometimes there's additional benefits to it that you didn't even see, that you're blind to and you can't even notice. And I think that's probably, like, I always tell people, I'm like, the best part about the comedy shows, because you and I have done a bunch of shows together, is hanging out in the back at the table with all the other comics, because we just rip on each other before we go on stage.
For sure.
And it's just so fun hanging out with everybody, and like, and it's just like joke. Like, me and Arthur Stump, like, we have jokes going on, and every time I do a show with him, he does this thing to me every single time, and I always forget, and I'm like, you tricked me again, you know. And it's just like, those relationships, those friendships, like that's what matters to me the most. And like, some of my friendships in comedy have been some of the deepest ones that I've had, you know?
Absolutely. Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's one of the things that I love about since joining up, you know, with the comedy crews, is it's so awesome to know the person and then get their perspective, because that's what you're getting whenever you see them do their comedy, right?
Yeah.
It's totally, it's either things that they've gone through or things that I know that they were just sitting alone somewhere and just be like, that's hilarious, I'm going to put that down. And it's like, you know, you kind of get a little bit deeper look, you know, into, you know, just into their thought process.
Right.
You know? I love it.
And no matter what background or anything. And then you're like, oh, that is a really funny joke, but I would have never come up with that because my perspective isn't what that person's perspective is.
Absolutely.
But you hear the joke and then you're like, oh, that is really funny.
Yeah.
You know, but they only know that it's funny because they've experienced it over and over and over again until it becomes like a cosmic joke. And then they tell it and then you're like, yeah, that's great. You know?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Got you.
Yeah.
So so in order to become a dentist, you obviously had to go to school.
Yes.
Where'd you go for dentistry?
So I went to VCU in Richmond.
Very cool.
For dental, yeah.
Okay.
And then before that, I had to do 4 years of undergrad too.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So I might be funny, but I also have a BS in biochemistry as well.
Sounds like BS.
Yeah, it kind of was, but no, I'm smart. Like,
No, for sure. You have to be, right?
I just was like, a biochemistry degree can make you like almost no money. And then I was like, dentistry, you can work 4 days a week. And I was like, hell yeah, I'm sold.
Sign me up. I'm going in everybody's mouth.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. Okay. So, and you've been a dentist for how long?
Almost 13 years.
And
I've been in dentistry since I was 22 because I was a dental assistant before I went to dental school.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So, and as far as that path, like you've been happy with the choice of what you do for your 9 to 5?
I manifest every day that Netflix will call me and be like, here's $1 million deal, go do it.
I love that.
Yeah. Every day.
Manifest.
I'll take you with me.
Oh.
You can be my opener.
I'll totally open for you.
Okay, cool.
I got you.
This is the man that won the comedy contest against me.
Hey, that was the king of comedy, just so we know.
Slugfest.
Yeah.
He's like, you and I are going to be top 3. And I wasn't. And I felt very upset that you even got my hopes up.
Well, I was manifesting it.
You were trying to. Maybe I didn't manifest it enough, right? You have to believe you already have it before you have it.
That's it.
Yeah.
And that entire time, I was actually believing that I wasn't even going to be top 3.
What's funny? We got onto this show and we were in backstage, and before anybody even goes on, we're waiting for like the audience to filter in. And I said, you got this, you're going to win. And you were like, nah.
No, I truly didn't believe that. And I think it's a good thing, because anytime that I show up to compete in anything, it's if you think you already have won, you're going to lose. Like, and I know that, some people would disagree.
Right.
But to me, it's like, if I think I got this in the bag, it's like the tortoise in the hare. Like, I'm not going to try nearly as hard. And also, too, I have enough respect for each one of those comedians, including yourself, where I know that you have the ability to go out there and murder. You have the ability to go out there and win the crowd.
Right.
And so that was what I just kept pumping myself up and saying, I wanted everyone to do well, but I just kept telling myself, you need to have the best set that you can possibly give. As long as I can do that, I can walk off the stage. They could have told me I was last place. As long as I said to myself, I had the best set that I possibly could have had.
As long as you're good with you. Like, that's all that matters, right? Yeah. Like, and I do that with like my comedy. Like, people are always like, they ask me all the time, they're like, well, what do you do if you bomb? And I guess this is one of the things that I didn't mention before too about doing comedy is like public speaking for me is like no big deal now. Like, I can do a public presentation, and the fact that I don't have to make anybody laugh during it makes it so much easier.
Yeah.
And so it's like if you go up on, and like I remember the first time I bombed, I was like, oh my God. But then you realize, like, slowly over time, nobody remembers you bombing more than you do.
Yeah.
The only person in the room that remembers you bombing is you, and you will remember it for months on end, and you will beat yourself up about it. And then you slowly realize, like, this is part of the process. You have to fail. Like, I've told jokes that have totally fell flat with one audience, and then I was like, okay, I need to tweak this. I need to do something different with it. And then you go to a different audience and you tell it, and they freaking roar laughing. So it's part of the like artistic process, right?
Sure.
Like, you have to like be able to like go in there and be like, all right, I'm going to stand up on stage and I'm going to say a bunch of things that I think are funny, that I laughed about while I was sitting on the toilet,
Yeah, that's where you come up with your good stuff.
That's probably where the good stuff comes from. Mostly when I'm driving too, and you got to I will voice audio like into my phone and be like, so that I, because you know how it is. You think of something, and if you don't write it down immediately, it's gone. Yeah.
Or you'll be like, what was that thing I was thinking about with ambulances? And it's like...
you're like, you can't put it together. And you're like, but it was really funny. I remember it being super funny.
Yep. No, you're exactly right. It's right then and there. Pull over.
Yep. Write it down.
Voice
memo it to yourself, whatever. And like, what's funny is like, if you looked in the notes section of my phone, it's just like... random joke. And then when I'm finally getting ready to go to an open mic, I like put them all out, and I'm like, okay, I can connect it like this, and I want to say that, and like that, put it all together.
I do mine like a 5th grade English project where I'll do the bubble right? Like I'll draw a bubble and then I'll look and I'll be like, okay, I'm gonna call that joke this, and then I have a couple lines coming off that bubble, and then I'm writing inside those other bubbles, and it's like, okay, what goes with this joke, right? And just
I'm not surprised. I'm not. That's so you. Yeah. It's like, what did they call it? Like a bubble chart or something? In like elementary school.
You damn right.
You got to tell your story before you tell the story, and then you tell it, and then you tell it again, and then you close it with the closing conclusion, and you tell them everything you just told them.
What she said.
Yeah. That's why you manifest.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep. 100%. That's great. That's great. Oh, man. So, what's your favorite joke you've ever written?
My favorite joke is the things that I love joke. You've heard that multiple times.
I have.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't
have to tell it.
No, don't have to tell it. But yeah, that just so that whenever people go out, they know that they're getting the Janie Chapel special, the favorite joke.
Yeah.
For sure.
So I'll just tell this part of the joke. But so talking about an eclectic group of people in both different areas of where I do comedy, and it's like divided up like Charlottesville and like Roanoke or whatever. There's a couple comics who have wheelchairs, right? Mm. And so I tell a joke in my things that I love joke. And in both places that I've told this, both of these comedians have said something, and it's hilarious when they're there. Yeah. Because one of the things that I say that I love is I love men that skip leg day at the gym. And so both of these comics have heard this joke and like, I didn't even think about it when I told the joke the first time, and both of them in different settings have been like, yeah, like,
that's amazing.
Yeah. So
heck yeah.
It's fun. And it's such a good time.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you know what? Honestly, speaking of all that too, it's like, don't you feel like your brain chemistry changes a lot when you started doing comedy? Like you start change, like instead of being in this like anxiety, like worry mindset, you constantly are in this like, oh, that could be funny. Oh, that could be funny. Or that could be funny.
100%
Or I could write a joke about that. So your brain, for me, like happiness started occurring more for me, because it's like your brain's so occupied by like trying to write the next joke, the next punch, the next thing that's funny, finding humor in really awkward, weird situations or hard situations, and finding the humor and being able to do that. I literally think it just changes your whole brain chemistry. And I think most comedians, like there's been podcasts about this too. It's like a lot of them are like, well, we're all like kind of mentally ill a little bit because you have to come from a dark place to make things funny. Yeah. But also it's like, for me, I don't know about you, but like my brain chemistry defaults to funny more than like scared or sad or anxious.
100%.
And it's like a much more pleasant place to be in your own head when you're constantly just telling yourself jokes all day.
Yeah. Yeah, like it could be a situation where you just wrecked a motorcycle and you just got run over and you're laughing because you're like, this is going to be great on stage.
Oh, God, that was, yeah.
Oh, man. No, but I totally agree. And I think it feels better when you are looking for the funny in life.
Yes.
More.
Yeah.
You know, where even whenever something bad happens, you know, I always try to find the funny in it. And sometimes, you know, I'm a little bit of a dark comedian. Sometimes it's unwanted, you know, because someone dies or something like that. I always think, you know, well, there's something that if you can't make death funny, it's, you know, I find it hilarious.
Right.
I just do. And it's not because I think that death itself is funny. It's just we're all gonna die, you know. So why can't we make fun of it, right? Like it's a human emotion. We go through a lot of human emotions whenever we lose loved ones. Yeah. And to me, like I remember going to a funeral for one of Rachel's friends who had passed away. He had gotten shot and killed at a gas station, just a random thing. Yeah. And I'll never forget, like, the dad getting up there, and you could tell that he had lost his best friend. Right. I mean, it really was like everyone, there was not a dry eye out there. He was saying all these wonderful things about his son. And then he made the entire room start laughing when he said, he's like, my son was a great son. And I mean that in the sense of he did all the things that great sons do. like he would borrow my tools and never return them.
Right.
You know, or if he did, they would be broken in half. You know, he would, I would try to call him and he would send me straight to voicemail most times and get back to me whenever it was convenient for him, you know, but it was making us all laugh because, you know, you could just tell, like, he understood, like, his son loved him and he loved his son. And it's just like, but to bring those things out, you know, just in that funeral, it was like, you know, I've already said, whenever I die, I want all the comedians to show up, and every one of y'all has to go up and make a joke about me.
Yeah, I want to have an open mic for my funeral.
Yeah.
Like, I just want all my, just have an open mic. You guys rip on me. I don't care.
That's the perfect roast.
Yeah.
Roast me when I'm dead. That would be amazing.
Yeah. And, you know, and like with all that too, I tell people as well, I'm like, with grieving and sadness and all of that stuff, you wouldn't know what that would feel like unless you really ever truly got to love somebody in your life.
Agreed.
And so you have to have the positive with the negative. And that's why, like, with weird, awkward, sad situations, and you look for that silver lining of like, man, that stuff really annoyed me about my son, but I'm going to really miss it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Have you ever lost somebody close to you?
I don't think super close, but like, you know, there have been losses in my life that have probably affected me in different types of ways. But
yeah. I think anytime you lose somebody, it doesn't matter if it's a 10 out of 10 or if it's a 1 out of 10.
Right.
You know, sometimes people, you know, that are semi close to me, right? We had a relationship, but you know, whenever they pass, it more just reminds me that, you know, not going to be here forever.
Right.
You know, and then, you know, I've lost a best friend, and I got to tell you that made for 2 or 3 months I was mad.
Right.
I was very angry, right, for losing like the person that, you know, was that person where I could just call him up and say, hey, you know, we're going to X, Y, and Z. You know, I'm ready to go. Are you ready? And he just find out about it right there. He's like, come pick me up. Let's rock.
Right.
You know, like I never had that in a friend. And, you know, when he passed away, I went through depression for the first time in my life. And it was a solid 3 or 4 months. And when I say Rachel held me down, I mean held me down.
Yeah.
And, you know, I just remember having an epiphany, though, just sitting outside and looking out at, you know, my yard and stuff. I had like 2.5 acres, and I'm just sitting there looking, and I started thinking to myself, you know, how selfish am I? You know, how selfish am I that I got I had an opportunity in my life to have a friend like that. Right. Where we were inseparable. That was like my little brother. And I got that time. Some people go their entire lives without ever having that kind of relationship.
Right.
You know, and, you know, but to be able to have that experience, it's like I would rather have had those times and lost it than to not have it at all.
Right.
You know what I mean? And also, too, it really got me when I started looking at myself saying, if something happened to me, I don't want anybody to lose sleep over it.
Right.
You know, I would want you to be able to go on and, you know, I would not only go on, but go on knowing that, like, I'm still rooting for you wherever I am.
Right.
You know?
Right.
Like 100%. And I knew that he was. It's just sometimes it takes a little bit longer to get over that hump.
Yeah.
You know?
And I have something similar to that too. So long story short, but my mother, when I was 25, she had brain surgery, and the surgeon messed up the surgery and left her left side paralyzed. And she's been laying in a bed for 14 years. And I think 10 of those years, I just walked around and I was so mad. And then when I kind of released that and decided, like, I don't have to be mad anymore. Like, I can just let that go. But the truth is like, whether it's 10 years, 2 months, 1 day, you can feel that emotion and then let it go in the same instance. You don't have to walk around being mad or angry or, you know, whatever. And it's just a lesson that you have to learn. And like I said, it's like you only know what loss is if you had something great that is missing now, you know? Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
We went deep on this one.
No, I love it. I love it. You know, I think that, you know, what you were saying earlier, where it's like, guys will hoot and holler at you, whenever you're wearing the halter top on stage. It's like, yes, you're a beautiful woman on the outside, but you're also beautiful on the inside.
Aw, thank you.
And that's, when you go deep and you really, let those things out. And I think it's just showing who you really are.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And honestly, I don't think I would be able to have these conversations 3 years ago. Then this is just part of the process of like changing your mindset changes your life. Like change what's in here first, and then everything else will fall into place.
I got you.
Yeah.
So if you were to give advice on, I know that you said, just do it, but starting up, so don't hold yourself to
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because you're going to feel like a failure all the time.
Yeah.
Hold yourself to 80%. But I kind of took the year and I was like, I'm going to change everything, Yeah. But if you want to do something, like even just like starting a working out regimen, start with 2 days a week and try and make it easy. Take your workout clothes to work and then go straight to the gym. Don't even go home where you have the opportunity to sit down on the couch. But it's if you want to change things in your life, I think research even shows it too, is that the small changes that you make, the easier that they are to do over a long period of time. So if you go to the gym 1 day a week for 52 weeks, that's 52 times you went to the gym over not going at all that year.
Sure.
Same thing with they say if you read 2 or 3 pages of a book a day, you're going to read 5 books in a year or something along those lines.
Yeah.
So it's about making the small changes that are easy for you to do. Like if your gym is an hour away, you're never going to go to the gym, right? Sure. But if your gym is like a convenient location and it's on your way home from work, take your gym clothes to work and then go to the gym afterwards. And when you start doing the 1 or 2 days and then you start feeling like, oh man, my body feels better. I sleep better. My stress is down. Because that's what happened to me. My skin got better. Walking around, you feel like you have more energy. All of those things start happening. And then you're like, oh, I'm understanding why exercise scientists is telling everybody to go to the gym.
Yeah. And just like you said, right? I think people get so caught up in what other people are doing.
Yeah.
Like for instance, if someone at the gym saw that, every time they showed up to the gym, you're there, right? And then they say, who's that? Oh, she's here every day. And it's like, oh, well, I'm not here every day. I'm not seeing the results I want to see, but I've seen her transform. Yeah. I think that sometimes that can kind of down progress.
Yeah.
When really it should just be, kind of what you're saying, right? You were focusing on yourself.
It's you versus you, man.
That's it. Yeah.
In this world, nobody else matters. It's you versus you. Yeah. You are the one that's going to make your life good. If you think somebody's going to come out and reach after you, and that's one thing I learned with the comedy thing. It's all these Netflix people, right? They were doing work in the background for a really long time before Netflix was like, okay, let's do a Netflix show, It's not going to just reach out for you out of thin air. You got to be doing, the shows, and you got to be making, that's the thing about comedy that people don't realize with shows is it's networking.
Yeah.
It's partly, you need to be funny. But if I went up to DC Improv next week and got in on their shows, which is a little bit difficult to do, but I think that I'm funny enough I could do it. DC Improv, that's where Taylor Tomlinson, I think, started getting her traction there. You know what I mean? Yeah. And so it's who you know. What shows can you do? Who are you working with? Those types of things. I opened for a guy last year at Roanoke Comedy Festival, and I can't think of his name right now. That's really bad. I'm so sorry. Here, just pop it up right here.
Yeah.
There you go. When we look it up later. And he opened for Taylor Tomlinson on multiple occasions and stuff like that. And he does comedy full time. So I asked him, I was like, how do you do it? What do you do? He's like, you won't be able to do it in the Valley. You're going to have to move to a place like Chicago or New York. You're going to have to, maybe even DC, where the comedy scene is large. And you're going to have to, do A, B, and C. Winston, what's his name?
Yeah.
Hodges. Winston Hodges. I got it.
You got it.
Sorry about that. It took me a second.
I was about to say Churchill, but that was way wrong.
But so and I think that's the thing we've been saying, manifesting. That's a big part of my life right now, is that if you believe it, you're going to make the steps to take it to go there.
Yeah.
And then if you act like you already have it, you're going to do better. You're going to be better. You're going to make the connections. You're going to see the next door open. You're going to walk through it. And that's like the crazy part about all of this for me too, is like, there's a door there, right?
Sure.
And it's closed. But what you don't know is there are 8 other doors behind it. So when that door opens and you walk through it, you didn't even know that option A, B, C, D, E, F, G was also on the other side of that door. And I think that's what's been a lot of my like journey in life recently, is just, I'm like, oh, I'm going to go to an open mic and be funny. And then it's like, oh, now you have a shit ton of friends who are awesome and you like to hang out with them. And then now you're getting a paid show and now you're doing this. And then, before you know it, it's like you make all of these connections. And I hope that I'm invited to your wedding at some point.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, duh.
Yeah.
But, and it's like, I literally, like 3 years ago, I like had this moment of like, I have no friends. I have no life. I don't do anything. I sit at home and I watch Harry Potter all the time, which is true. Because I love Harry Potter.
Dope.
And I like dated a guy too. And he was like, what do you do? Just watch Harry Potter all the time on repeat? And I was like, yeah, isn't that what like normal girls do that are single?
I do the exact same thing, but I not Harry Potter. I watch Game of Thrones.
Oh, that's good, but that's a lot
time.
sadder.
All the time.
Yeah.
Like
Harry Potter. Yeah.
I probably watched it all the way through like 14 times in the past 3 years.
Game of Thrones makes me mad because they kill all my favorite characters, but that's a whole nother like.
That's what makes it great.
I know.
But
and so a lot of friends of mine who like see what I'm doing on social media now, who knew me 3 or more years ago, are like, this girl is getting it. I mean, I'm doing bodybuilding, I'm riding motorcycles, I'm doing comedy, I'm like pushing the comedy scene, I'm doing all this stuff. And so many people are like, oh man, like she's so lucky. And it's like, I put in the work.
Yeah.
Because my life wasn't working anymore. And I had to make the decision to be like, everything I'm doing is not working. So I got to turn everything around and do everything opposite of what I've been doing.
I love it.
Yeah.
And I think you have been. I mean, like I said, I can see the difference.
Yeah.
I can see the change.
Oh, yeah.
In just a short period of time.
Oh, yeah.
That's another thing, too, is that it didn't seem like, I mean, maybe a couple of months before, in between seeing you. And like I said, you showed up and I was like, wow, you look different.
People tell me that all the time. It's crazy.
Yeah. And that's a beautiful thing. It's like, like you said, even if you say, right, you're putting forth 80% effort, or holding yourself 80% accountable, it works.
Yeah.
It doesn't take a lot.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do it for yourself. It's you versus you in this world, right?
Yeah.
Like if, and I always say, like I said before, if you can put your head on the pillow at the end of the day and be good with you, that's great.
Yeah.
But you can even extrapolate that further and say, if you can put your head on your deathbed, knowing that you tried so hard, you worked so hard, you pushed so hard, you tried to follow dreams, you tried to push to do the things that you want to do. I mean, we were talking about death earlier, and it's like, I've said to people before, even before this accident, actually, it's really funny. I told somebody that I was dirt biking with, and I said, if I died tomorrow, I'm good with me. I'm good with the life that I've created, the fun that I've had, the people that I've spent time with. And I would hope that everybody would come to my funeral and just like have an open mic and it would be fun,
Oh, yeah.
And it's a different way of living. Cause like 5 years ago, I would have so much anxiety about dying. Cause I'd be like, I haven't done this and I haven't tried that. And I don't know how to do this. And how do I start? Like, I don't even know. Like, and I didn't have good mentors or ways to do it. And I think when you get sick and tired of being sick and tired, you're like, wake up one day and you're like, I got to do something different. This isn't working anymore. And it just really brings you to a place. And like I said, so many of my friends have said, you glow. They're like, you look like you're pregnant or something. And I'm like, well, I'm on a dick diet. I've been on a dick diet for about a year. So, but, and that's part of the process too. I was like, I've been choosing shitty people for so long and I need to like stop choosing people because I obviously have bad habits with that. And so I decided to take 2025 and go on a dick diet, also known as a boy diet. And it's like no hooking up, no kissing, no dating, no nothing. And it's just like this whole process has just revolutionized my life. And like there are people and like they'll probably make comments and be like, yeah, you glow. Like she's like friends of mine, they're like, you look so happy. Your eyes just are bright now. And it's because I'm living an authentic life that's authentic to myself.
Sure.
Yeah.
And now you, honestly, now you're, I'm not saying in any of those relationships that you were the problem in any way, shape, or form, but I am saying that it's a beautiful thing because when you do decide to start dating again, I think that because of the way that you've been living, I think you're going to hold yourself to a higher standard as to who you're picking and who you're dating.
Yeah.
So.
And it's crazy too, because I'm actually like attracting better quality people because I finally became the type of person that high quality men would want to date.
Yeah.
You know?
Absolutely.
But then I'm always like, I'm on a dick diet. I'm sorry. You're going to have to see me in January 1.
It's right around the corner, gentlemen.
It's coming. It's 3 months away.
Hey, actually, January 1st, we're auctioning off Jamie to the highest bidder.
Let's see how much we can make. We'll donate it to charity. I won't keep it.
Yeah. We'll donate it to charity. Yeah. We'll put it towards the program that you're in.
Yeah, the leadership program.
I think that would be great.
Yeah.
We can live stream. So the auction is going to be a date with Janie Chapel.
I'm down with that.
I think
I could be okay with that.
I think that'd be dope. I think it'd be awesome.
Yeah.
Well, this has been a fantastic time.
I agree.
I really appreciate you coming.
I love talking to you. We always have great conversations.
Yeah, 100%. And you will definitely be seeing more of Janie Chapel. You know, I need all sorts of different people on the podcast, and today she's proven to me exactly what she is. She is the inspirational speaker of the Jared's Not Funny podcast, and for goodness sake, we need that.
Yeah.
You know, she's got me wanting to go to the gym right now.
That's my goal for next year. I do want to start doing a speaking engagement for inspirational speakers and stuff.
Heck yeah.
That's my goal for next year.
Well.
Yeah.
Finish this year.
I got to finish this year out.
We'll auction you off.
Well, yeah.
And then you can.
I'm going to start with process.
I love it.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
All right. Well, this has been Jared's Not Funny. Again, I'm Jared Christianson. I've been with Janie Chapel.
That's me.
Hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day. Thank you.